It's got to be real.
Going on, so Saul Canelo Alvarez will be facing Amir Khan in just a few days, not long left. May 7th, Cinco de Mayo. It's taking place in Las Vegas. It's a huge fight. A very big occasion for both Amir Khan and Canelo. I think Canelo's been on this stage for Amir Khan. It's a huge, really big fight for him. Never been on this sort of stage before, stepping up. And I'm just gonna give my takes on how I kind of see this fight going. In terms of predictions, this is gonna be the first fight that I don't actually make a prediction on this sort of level. Multiple reasons, but in particular, I don't really wanna. Not gonna give a prediction on this fight from start to finish. And if you like that, you don't. I don't really care. That's just how I'm gonna do it. Now, look, with this fight, right? Thought about it, right? Like, quite in depth. I've thought about this, and truth of the matter is, Canelo is coming in around about 170, 175. Amir Khan is going to be coming in around 160s. So the weight advantage is not that significant, but the truth is that Canelo is naturally a much bigger, stronger fighter. Amir Khan, it's not so much about weight, it's more about how hard can you hit. And Canelo, although he's coming up from a lower weight division, he's fought at low weights before, but that's not the thing. You see, the thing is that Saul Alvarez can punch really hard, and he's known to crack at 154, and he could probably very easily crack at 160. So for me, this fight being at the 155-pound catch weight, with Amir Khan moving up, it's going to be really difficult for him to be able to keep Canelo off him. Now, if you just think about this for a second, right? As Amir Khan is fighting Canelo, right? Amir Khan could be throwing his punches, right? Fast combinations, he'll come in with a jab, right hand, cross, move, go against the ropes. But the thing what's going to happen in this fight, and this is what I think, right? I could be wrong about this, but it all comes down to how hard can Amir Khan punch. Because if Amir Khan carries 154-pound punching power, right? 150, not talking 154 punching power, he should be able to keep Canelo at bay. If he can stop Canelo from coming in undeterred. Now, what I mean by undeterred is, if Canelo Alvarez comes in, right, and he has to do bob and weave and head movement to come in, and he's got to kind of watch out for Amir Khan's punches coming in, and then he throws, you see, he's going to be conscious coming in. And with that sort of hesitance coming from Canelo, coming into Amir Khan, that's going to give Amir Khan an edge in being able to keep Canelo at range, because Canelo's not going to be wanting to get punched on the way in. So if Canelo's fighting, so Amir Khan's boxing here, right, and Canelo's head's round about, just, I don't know, somewhere around here, right, and Canelo's trying to come into Amir Khan, and he's trying to close distance, right, and he's coming into Amir. If he's not bothered about punches coming from here, Canelo's not going to be bothered about trying to sneak in past these punches coming in. He's not going to be too bothered about coming in, leaping in and punching. But if Amir Khan has enough pop, and he's able to make Canelo wary of his hand speed, and he's throwing these punches here, right, and Canelo's thinking to himself, oh, I don't want to get hit by these. If he feels that, then what's going to happen is Canelo's going to be stuck at this sort of range, trying to get inside, and Amir Khan's fast on his feet, and he knows how to pivot around the ring. He knows he's got, under Virgil Hunter, I think Virgil Hunter's like brilliance lies in how teaching fighters how to fight from the ground up, how to throw from what angle, at what point, and being able to control the range and the ring. I think the ring control, being able to use that real estate and box a bigger, stronger fighter. And Amir Khan's become kind of, because he's had knockouts before, he's learned to deal with fighters, and I think that's what he's been working on more than anything, deal with pressure fighters. That's where he struggled, and I think his weakness has become his strength. But with Amir Khan, like, the problem that's coming, for me, what I personally feel is Amir Khan going to have enough power to make Canelo wary of him coming in undeterred? Because if Canelo thinks to himself, look, I'm going to come in irrespective, and he doesn't bother about head movement, and he just comes straight in, takes a punch to give a punch, if he fights like that, Khan's in trouble. Because what's going to happen is, I mean, the Errol Spence-Chris Algieri fight has kind of impacted me a little bit. And a recent boxing fight shouldn't impact me that much, but when I've been so 50-50 on this situation, thinking to myself, like, Amir Khan's a good boxer and he should be able to. But then when I saw that fight, I just saw like when the punching power does not deter your opponent at all, right? I mean, Chris Algieri was able to come in against Amir, right, undeterred, and Amir Khan's punching power was bothering Chris Algieri, but not enough to keep him off, you know. And he kind of kept him off, but not enough. If Canelo can come in totally have what 10. Let's say Chris Algieri had 40% respect for Amir Khan's power. If Canelo has less than 10% respect for Amir Khan's power and he really doesn't care and he just comes straight in, and he takes a punch to give a punch, then what you're gonna see is Canelo Alvarez just walking Amir Khan down, straight down. And the truth is, you can have as much ring generalship as you want, you can understand that ring as good as you want, but if you see, in order to control the ring, you have to have some punch power to keep your opponent guessing, and at least in a manner where, how to explain this, where your opponent doesn't just want to come in undeterred. Because if your opponent comes in undeterred, then how are you supposed to, because you can't keep running around the ring. I mean, you can move around that ring, but at times you're going to have to stand still. And if Canelo has no respect for Amir Khan's power, and when Amir Khan stands still and Canelo just swings for him, at that point, Amir's in big trouble, I think, to be honest. But you see, on the flip side, right, and this is where it all boils down to, does Amir Khan have enough power to keep Canelo off him, or does he not? Okay, if Amir Khan has enough power to just make Canelo think, all he needs to do, it just doesn't need to be too hard, but it needs to be enough power to make Canelo wary of coming in. If he has that, Amir Khan will win this fight. If he doesn't have that, he's gonna lose a fight. And I think that this is where the fight's gonna lie, and nobody knows this. I could tell you all and break this fight down and everything, right? Anyone could break this fight down and talk and whatnot. But the truth of the matter is, that's where the fight lies. The fight lies not in Canelo's hands, it lies in Amir Khan's hands. If Amir Khan does not have enough punch power to keep Saul Alvarez guessing when Canelo's here, right? When Canelo's about here, if Amir Khan does not have enough punch power to keep Canelo guessing when Canelo's here, right? And Canelo just comes straight in and he doesn't care. The fight you'll see is this, right? Amir Khan will be here boxing, right? And Amir Khan's not gonna be dancing around that ring for the full fight. Amir Khan's he'll be standing still, right? Waiting for Canelo to come a little forward. As soon as Canelo comes forward, he'll bam bam, and he'll move and he'll pivot, or he'll just jump back a little bit. You see? But what will happen is, if Canelo has no respect, Canelo's just gotta come here. Canelo's not going to be waiting here because he has no reason to wait, because he's not scared of Amir Khan's punch power. If he has no reason to wait and he's not scared of Amir Khan's power at all, and he has no respect for it at all, you're not going to see a fight where Amir Khan's waiting to come on, punch, move back, bam, 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 and counter punch. Because that's what Amir Khan does. He uses his speed advantage now. See, when Canelo's going to come forward, if Canelo's wary and he's waiting here, and they're both waiting for each other to counter punch, and Canelo wants to catch Amir Khan in between combinations or whatever like that, and he tries to make it a technical fight like that, which Canelo has been known to do in the past against Lara, but Amir Khan doesn't punch as hard as Lara because Lara is a bigger fighter. He's just naturally a much bigger fighter, a much bigger frame. If Canelo Alvarez, right, has no respect, right, which he had for Lara, he had respect for Lara's power, and then you're not going to see this where Amir Khan's waiting like this, right? And he's on his feet and he's just waiting for Canelo to throw a jump back and counter punch him. Like, fast, use that. Like, not just the hand speed, but use the foot speed, the athleticism, you know, just being able to move back and jump in and out of range. As soon as Canelo comes in, just jump back a little bit and just bam, 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 and just counter punch Canelo and just move away. Because that's what Amir Khan must be planning. He must be planning for Canelo to come in, you make the first move, Amir Khan just uses really fast hand speed and bam, bam, counter punch Canelo, move out of there. But if that's not the case, where you have that situation where Canelo's waiting, right, for Amir Khan, right, and Amir Khan's waiting for Canelo, and they're waiting for each other to kind of, who's going to launch the first punch and who's going to be the counter puncher in the fight. If that's not happening, all that's happening is you're having a Chris Algieri, Amir Khan, Lamont Peterson, Amir Khan type fight. What you're going to see is Canelo's just going to be walking Amir Khan down, and he's going to be punching Amir Khan to the body, straight right hands, straight left hooks to the body, and he's just going to be swinging up at top like wild punches, loaded punches, and eventually at some point you're going to see Amir Khan worn down, you're going to see him take some significant punches, and you could potentially see a stoppage or a knockout, okay? But like I said, it all lies in that. Can Amir Khan get Canelo's respect? Because if he can get Canelo's respect, even a bit, just a bit, all he needs is a bit of respect, then Canelo's going to be wary coming in and he's going to have to use his head movement. And by the time he goes for broke, it's going to be round 6-7. And I think at that point it will be a little bit late in the fight for him to go for broke. And I think Amir Khan will be able to last the last 6 rounds and beat Canelo Alvarez on a unanimous decision. So yeah, really, it's either Canelo's going to stop Amir and break him down, or just win a unanimous decision against Amir Khan by literally walking through Khan's punches, or you're going to see Amir Khan outbox Alvarez. And obviously that isn't obvious, so it's not much of a, but it's going to be one of the two scenarios, like either Canelo just destroys Amir Khan and goes through his punches, or Amir Khan outboxes him. But the thing is, like, for him, this is what I'm saying to you, if Amir Khan boxes him, right, this is what you're going to see in the fight. All you're going to see is Canelo waiting, Khan waiting, and then in that sort of fight, 100% I think Amir Khan's going to get the better of the fight. But like I say, man, if Saul Alvarez respects Amir Khan's power, then Canelo's in trouble, because I think he could beat a boxing match with Khan, like in terms of skill, but it's not just based upon boxing, it's based upon speed as well, does play a factor. And I think both fighters are very similar in their boxing IQ. I think Canelo has a really underrated boxing IQ, and I think skill for skill they're similar, right? Canelo's got some really good tricks. He's still learning though. Amir Khan has developed his tricks and he's more seasoned. He's been in the game and he's been on different levels. He's been on higher levels earlier than Canelo. Canelo's been on a higher level, but it's been more recent and he hasn't always won. He hasn't really looked shined. Amir Khan's been on higher levels and he hasn't always shined as well. But they're really similar, But the thing is, like with Amir Khan he's got the natural speed advantage, which will win him the boxing match. What Canelo hasn't got. Canelo hasn't got the speed advantage in this fight. There's been talk about Amir Khan slowing down. I think in the fight, I don't think you're going to see a speed disadvantage for Khan at all. I think Khan's going to be a significantly faster fighter, and that speed is definitely going to bother Canelo. But it just comes with, can Canelo take it? And the truth is, like, Canelo has to get Khan out of there in 6 rounds. Anything past 5-6, Amir Khan will outbox Canelo and win a unanimous decision. But it's a big ask and it's very difficult because Canelo is so damn strong. I don't know how strong Amir Khan is. I don't know how hard he's punching at the moment. That's where the fight lies, and for that reason I'm not making a prediction on this fight, because I just don't know how hard he's hitting. If Amir Khan was hitting hard, and I knew he was hitting hard, and we saw some significant punch power, or we saw him on, we got some gauge on his power. We've never seen him in this division before. If we had some sort of gauge on how Amir Khan punches out this weight division, because anybody who tells you they know, the truth of the matter is nobody knows what's... I mean, someone could come and tell you, like, yeah, Amir Khan's an outboxer. Amir Khan could tell you this and say it after the fight, like, look, I told you so. Truth of the matter is, Amir Khan doesn't even know how hard he hits at this division until he jumps in that ring with those small gloves and he gets in there with someone who's 155/170 odd pounds, Because Amir Khan, because Canelo's, the girth of his neck, the size of him, his face is just so damn big, right? And it's not from weight, he's just grown into this big animal. And I don't know if that's natural or not, right? But I'm not saying it's not. But with Alvarez, he's just so damn big. His face is just so big and strong, and I struggle to see how someone coming from 147 with Amir Khan's knockout ratio, what he's had in low weight divisions, carries that power up to 155 pounds and is able to catch Canelo's attention. And that's where the fight lies. I don't think Amir Khan can move around Canelo for 12 rounds. Amir Khan has to fight in bursts. He has to choose his spots to throw his combinations. He's got to outbox Canelo and land the meaningful punches. It's not just a matter of lasting 12. I think he's got to beat Canelo. He's got to outbox him, beat him convincingly. Because you got to remember this as well. Like, if any close rounds are going to go to Canelo, so even if you feel Amir Khan's winning this fight, truth of the matter is Canelo will still get the decision by the judges. Bottom line. So I think it's a very hard fight for Amir Khan, and that's the truth. I think Canelo's stronger. I think the boxing IQ is similar. I just think the fight falls in between whether Amir Khan has enough punching power to keep Canelo off him. and keep him honest. That's it. That is it. That's where the fight lies. Comment section below, subscribe as always. This is not a catchweight Sal Alvarez against Floyd Mayweather. This is a fully fledged £155 fight between Amir Khan and Canelo Alvarez.